Apex GP, Sonny Hayes. He raced with me back in the day.
Against you, you mean?
Yeah. Ken McKenna, our technical director. Dutch Dauda, our chief mechanic. And Kaspar Smolinski, team principal. You may know him by reputation.
5-time Constructors champion with Ferrari. As a real Jackman.
So is my pop. Can't win without him.
And our talented rookie, Joshua.
Why has he got a helmet?
Safety?
Joshua, your seat is safe, okay? Sonny's here for the audition.
When was the last time you won a race?
Sunday, Daytona?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Formula One.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then same as you.
Sidebar, bitte, Ruben. When I interviewed with you, many veteran drivers...
Yeah, who all turned you down?
How many?
7.
That's a lot.
I'm number 7?
You're 8.
This is a disaster.
Starting to feel more like a 9.
Technically, there is one who I've not heard from yet.
So I am a 9.
You know how numbers work, right?
In business, my most inspired ideas come late.
Yeah. Best things in life usually arrive 9th, right?
With respect, Ruben, I cannot condone we spend our only test day giving your long-lost teammate an audition.
Gaspar, you misunderstand. We're not auditioning him. He's auditioning us.
The reason why I wanted to be a part of it, aside with working with all the creatives, was I really related to Joshua. I really felt like I knew him, and it became a compulsion of mine to protect him and to show him to the world in his best light. I could relate to being an underdog, a rookie, a young actor, and having a need to want to prove yourself so badly, and I think that is what Josh was going
I've
through.
been racing for 32 years, and I've loved the sport since I was 5 years old. When we came across there was this moment where I got to speak with Joe about this potential project, Joe and Jerry, who asked me to come on board, and I jumped at the opportunity. And to be honest, I'd been really trying to figure out what could be a stepping stone from racing one day, a kind of a side stepping stone of something I'm also really passionate about. And movies is one of those things that I love pretty much as I do racing. And so I got this opportunity to go back in the background where I got to meet up with Jerry and Joe at Jerry's office, the legend himself, and meet with Brad and go through this script. And it was all the big learning process for me. I'm learning how they like to work, all the processes.
F1 the movie follows the character of Sonny Hayes, a down and out ex-F1 driver who's been given the opportunity to return to the sport to help a back-of-the-grid fictional team by the name of Apex win their first race. His ex-teammate and team owner, Ruben Cervantes, played by the amazing Javier Bardem, informed Sonny Hayes, played by the spectacular Brad Pitt, that the team has a young phenom, a talented rookie, played by yours truly, called Joshua Pierce, who just lacks the confidence and leadership and maturity to really push the team to the next level. So this is where Brad's character comes in to try and assist the team. The movie follows the remaining 9 races, starting from Silverstone, and essentially follows this back-of-the-grid team trying to accomplish this goal.
Apex didn't stick out like a sore thumb. It was done so well. I think the approach from the whole team, everyone was so professional. Some people were racing fans before, and I think some were new to it and gained a lot of appreciation during the journey of, being out to film at real races. This wasn't a set, it's like unheard of. There's obviously some of the technology that Joe used when he did Maverick with the fighter jets. He's able to bring part of that technology into this, but also develop it and take it to another level. I think it was really neat. I remember there was one moment actually. It was Budapest. It must have been 2023, and I got out the car after the race, and I hadn't even realized they were filming, if I'm really honest. But I went over to Brad, and I went over and like fist bumped him or something like that. I think my emotions were going crazy because I just finished the race, so I wasn't really thinking. But afterwards, like, you got in the way of the shot. But it was really cool how they were there filming live, like, but they were never in a way. So it was really cool.
First of all, I feel it in my cheekbones. But I remember Joe saying, and Jerry, you're never gonna see speed like this in any other film. And from seeing so much of the footage and the driving sequences, it definitely looks rapid. So I think the camera crew have just done an extraordinary job at that. And you know, we're driving with all of these camera mounts on, but we're really capturing everything, you know, from the apexes to the crowd, everything's just whizzing by. You know what track you're on. It's so authentic, it's so real, but the speed is one thing that, especially in IMAX, I can't wait for people to experience.
Having these two both go through the process of the mental challenges that we go through as racing drivers, the speed in which you're taking information in, also the effect of the body, how strong the brakes are, the G-forces. I think it was really important for them. You can't get that. You can't fake that. If you've not experienced it, you can't imagine. And so I think it's really important. And they were so open-minded that, you know, as I said, Brad, I think, had been following racing for some time, so he already generally had a bit of an idea. I think he had done some track days maybe before, so he kind of already had the gist of lines that you could take. But then when he got into the race cars, he realized it was even a bigger step from there. And then Damson starting from scratch completely. He's never done any track time, not knowing any lines, and so maybe even a steeper curve for him. But I think both of them got real appreciation for what being a racing driver and really means, and that's what you get to see in the film.
Brad Pitt is the perfect actor to portray Sonny Hayes because he is one of the most humble, giving actors I've ever had the experience of working with. He's charming, he's talented, he's unpredictable, like Sonny, and he's the ultimate collaborator, and he just wants you to win. And just the dynamic between the two of us has been so amazing for me personally because, you know, he sees me as next up and he's supporting that, you know, and he's giving me ideas and he's giving me pointers and he's encouraging me, he's congratulating me. And I think that's a dynamic that's building amongst Joshua and Sonny too. So the relationship is really organic and it's really authentic. The chemistry is just seamless. Working with Brad Pitt is easy.
I really wanted to make sure the film the cast was diverse, and making sure that, you know, women are seen on screen. So we've got, you know, the engineer, we've got you know, the aerodynamicist, for example, she also works in strategy, but also one of the mechanics that's in the pit stop is a woman, and then you've got, you know, just diverse characters. I want people that are watching to be like, oh, there's a place for me there. And so maybe for kids, they gotta get into STEM to become engineers. And so there's a big knock-on effect of the possibilities and the positive effects, hopefully it will have.
You've got a packed stadium, you've got other drivers and other racing teams who are doing what they do every week. And then here you are trying to film a movie in a slot of 10 minutes. The pressure's definitely on. I always remember to have fun. But in all things, I think the focus is to remember that we're trying to create something great, and that's going to come with challenges. And we always pull it off. We have always pulled it off, whether it's in Budapest, Monza, Abu Dhabi, Silverstone. Those 10-minute slots are really remarkable, and it's brilliant that Formula One gave us that time.
You're going to be on the edge of your seat watching this film, because the sound, you've got Hans Zimmer, you've got the effects, the backfiring of the exhausts. You're going to feel the adrenaline through this movie, and I've watched it several times, obviously, as we've been editing and working on it, and each time I get that feeling. So I know it's real, and I really, really know people are gonna get to feel that also. that whole mixture of different worlds, we've just got, you know, the mixture of emotions, the romance, the fights that you see, the close contact. It's definitely gonna raise some hairs, I think, on people's arms.
The biggest highlight for me in working with the amazing Joe Kosinski is not only how much of a visionary he is, but just how collaborative he is. As a young actor on a movie of this magnitude, you wouldn't necessarily think you could be afforded the luxury of actually having ideas and having an opinion and being able to rework scenes and give ideas. And I think Joe just welcomes all of that. He's such a sponge to creativity, and I just couldn't imagine anyone else directing this film. He's so giving, he's so humble, and you know, the process of this movie has been a challenging one. And every step of the way, Joe's had a smile on his face. So it's amazing to be underneath such a great leader.
I never in a million years thought I'd get to work with Brad Pitt. I've seen all of his movies, huge fan, and I think getting to the first time I actually I met him, I was in Jerry's office and we were going through casting, and Brad was on Zoom, so got to meet him in that split second. But then we got to go to a track and I got to drive around with him. I got to learn that, you know, he's massively into motorsport and particularly bikes. But then when we went round to track, I realized he's got an underlying ability actually to really drive, and I know it's a real passion of his to get behind the steering wheel.
So you like straight talk?
Straight as an arrow, no sugar.
Why are you here, Sonny? When you look in the mirror, you see this rough and tumble, old school cowboy. Doesn't take orders, goes his own way, huh? A lone wolf. Well, I've news for you. Formula One is a team sport. It always was. Listen, let's get this straight. We all lose our jobs if you can't pull off a miracle.
No pressure.
None.
The only question here is, why did Sonny Hayes come back to F1?
I think it's really wonderful that Apex are giving second chances to the elderly.
It's all right. You're just worried I'm quicker than you.
You're making a mistake, thinking that I'm just gonna be some grateful kid who'll bend the knee to an old timer.
I never should have pulled you into this.
Down the inside, contact!
That's the other driver. You say he was old, he not that old. That's a handsome man right there.
What's he doing? Plan C, be ready.
Just gotta hope for some lucky breaks.
Hope it's not a strategy.
Anything else, Professor?
Try fast. Ever seen a miracle?
Not yet. How do you think I'd feel if you die on the track?
3 laps. 3 laps is a lifetime.